going on, YouTubers? It's Arm76 back at you again with another video here. Today's going to be kind of like an unboxing here. I'm going to show you a new toy I picked up to add to my collection. Tell you a little bit about it and why I bought it. If y'all been following me along, you know that I've told you once before that, when I turned 18, I bought my first firearm, which was a shotgun. And then when I turned 21, I started buying firearms. And then I lost my job, and I had to sell pretty much all my firearms. And then as I started collecting firearms again, I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I'd buy a firearm, and then when I decided I wanted something different, I'd sell that one and buy something different. Now I'm making a little bit more money the past couple years, so now I've been able to buy firearms and keep them, and I intend on never selling them, the ones that I do pick up. So when I do decide on a firearm, I make sure it's the one I really want. I don't compromise on what I want with what I can pay. I'll just save up a little bit more money because I don't want to ultimately sell it. So I'll tell you a little bit about this, and some of you guys that are looking for 1911s, kind of trying to figure out which way to go and what to do. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't need a custom gun. I didn't need a Wilson Combat. I didn't need a Nighthawk. I didn't need any of those guns. I just needed a good production gun. And I was trying to stay within a price range of, say, $700 or so. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of 1911s out there for that price range, just not a lot of good quality ones. Like, I try to stay away from all your South American guns, which just includes Rock Island, Citadel, and a lot of those other different lower grade brands, ATI, and things of that nature. And don't get me wrong, even Colt and Springfield, if I'm not mistaken, they have South American made guns, like they're mil-spec guns. They're custom guns, as far as what I've been told from talking to them, is made here, in the United States. Like this one here in the case, it's made fully in the United States. All the materials, everything, 100% U.S. made. So that was a plus, and that's what I was looking for. Well, my budget consisted of, I wanted to stay around $700. Well, when buying a gun, you try to stay within a budget, and sometimes you do, and you get lucky and you get what you want, and then sometimes you compromise and you buy what you don't want, like I was saying, and then you sell it, later on. So anyway, I'll tell you who I was going to choose with, and who I was trying to stay with. Like, I just gave you a list of Rock Island and those guys. Also, I'm not a big fan of Smith & Wesson when it comes to 1911s. They probably make quality stuff, but when I want a Smith, I think of a revolver. I don't care about the 1911s. Kimber, I've had a Kimber, and it was a custom match, and nothing but issues and problems out of it, and I'll never own another Kimber. Don't care what they've improved and what you guys have to say about it. I just stay away from it. So I'm going to break it down to the ones that I was looking at. First, try to stay within the budget. I was looking at a Parrot Expert. I was running around $555 at the websites that I use to buy my firearms. And then I was also looking at the Ruger SR 1911. That was another inexpensive one. And then I tried to look at Springfield and Colt, and, because those are my other two brands that I really like, and to see if they had anything. And they kind of did. A lot of it was mil-spec stuff, and I didn't want to buy a mil-spec because then I'm going to want to upgrade the hammer and the trigger, and maybe the sights, and the beaver tail safety, and just a few things of that nature. So I kind of want to stay away from mil-spec. So I started doing some reviews on the Parrot and the Ruger first, because that was within my budget. And Parrot used to have a real bad reputation, when I was in 1911s anyway, like 10 years ago or so. They wasn't making real good quality, high quality stuff. Today they're making pretty good stuff, and it got nothing but pretty good reviews. And then I started looking at the Ruger, and it had some pretty good reviews, but it had some things that I wasn't too happy with. One was a lot of people were shaking the gun on film, and it was kind of sloppy. You could hear it rattle, and I like a tight fit in 1911. And the second part is that the lower was cast. It wasn't milled, it was cast, and I wasn't too happy about that. And the third was that Ruger hasn't been making 1911s for a long time, so they may not have got it perfected yet, and they're kind of new to that market. Don't get me wrong, I have two Rugers and I love them to death, and so that was one factor that kind of made me leery about it. And then also, yes, I was looking at the Remingtons. I was looking at the R1s because they're around that price range, but I was like, man, I want the upgraded features. So I started looking at their enhanced models on YouTube, and lo and behold, I come across this gun called a Springfield Range Officer by mistake. And the reviews on it were real great. So I was like, let me see if I can find this on the internet. I started looking around, and lo and behold, the people, or the websites that I used to get my guns, actually had them in stock, and they were around $735 to $750. So then I went on to Springfield's website and read a little bit about them, and it says that they are built on the same sliding frame as their Trophy and their TRP. same barrel and bushing, and it gets the same hand fitment as those guns. And if anybody of you know anything about Springfield, their TRP and their trophy is like their top of the line guns, and it gets the same treatment. Well, with this gun, with that price around $735, $750, you get the like I said, you get the same fitment as those guns, same barrel, same hammer, same trigger. You do get a set of adjustable night sights. And I was like, wow, this is a great gun. And I was like, let me see what Colt's got to offer. And I went over there and looked at theirs, and they really didn't have nothing comparable to that for that price range. So I went back and was about to click on buying that Range Officer by Springfield. And I said, well, I want to watch another video or two of it on YouTube. So I got back on and accidentally clicked on a video, which was the Springfield Armory MC Operator, which is what I have in this case here. And seen it and just absolutely fell in love with the gun. The color, and it had the rail on it, which is what I wanted in 1911, but just wasn't seeing a whole lot of those out there, and this one had it. So I went back on and started looking at price ranges of this gun, and it was running like $1,036, $1,066 on the websites, and I was like, wow, all right, if I'm going to spend that kind of money on another gun, I says, let's just throw the budget out the window and see what we can get for a production gun. So I looked at the Colts because I used to have a Gold Cup. I'll tell you right now, I started out with a Colt M1991A1, went to a Kimber Custom Match, to a Colt Gold Cup Trophy, and then to a Springfield Ultra Compact. And the reason why I went through these guns, and I'll tell you that before I open this case and give you guys a peek at it, because I know you're dying to look at it instead of listening to me talk. But the M1991A1, got it, Colt, great gun, but it was mil spec, and I wanted something fancier, all the upgrades. You know, I was young and didn't know a whole lot about it, just knew that it looked nice and I wanted it. So I traded it in at my local gun shop and got a Kimber Custom Match, took it out to the range. It was always having stovepipes and feeding issues, and wasn't too happy with it. So I traded it in, and he told me the best of the best for production gun was the Gold Cup by Colt. So I bought it, and I took it out to the range and loved it. Only problem I ever had with the gun was if I shot hollow points with the standard Colt magazines, I would have feeding issues sometimes. And I switched out the Wilson Combat mags and put in a Wilson Combat guide rod, and I never had an issue again with it. Just absolutely loved it. But back then I was in the car stereo competitions and stuff like that, and I needed a new amplifier for the car, so I sold the Gold Cup to buy it, and there went that 1911. And then about a year or so later, I got some money, decided I wanted another 1911, but I wanted one that I could carry. And so ultimately I bought the Springfield Ultra Compact, loved it, had it for a few years, and then something come up, needed the money, put in one of my motorcycles if I'm not mistaken, and I sold that gun, and there was all my 1911s, no more. And then a few years down the road I had to sell all my guns that I had left, which wasn't very many, but I had to sell them. And then like I said, 2 or 3 years ago I started back my build. But anyway, here we go. Open it up, show you guys. Kind of told you why I bought it. Great gun, man. It's black and OD green, favorite color. My AR-15 is OD green and black, so this will match it perfectly. Like I said, I decided not to spare no expense, guys. I picked it up for it was $1,036 and change on Kentucky Gun Company's website. They charge a 3% fee if you're going to use a credit card, but if you pay by cash or check, you don't get charged that. Well, I wasn't going to wait, so I paid by credit card, and if I'd have bought it local, I'd have paid 7% tax anyway, so 3% wasn't that big a deal. And then there was a little bit of shipping. So ultimately the gun was like $1,066, and then with the shipping and whatnot, I think I paid around, I don't know, $1,090, because that's what, and that includes the FFL fee of getting it in. So all said and done with fees, I think I'm right at $1,091, $1,092 for it. But kind of give you a rundown of the gun, guys. As you can see, it's black and OD green. It's got the Pachmayr grips on it. Got the rubber feel, textured. Got a good feel to it. Might change the grips out to either a set of Magpul with the thumb relief in it, or a set of VZ G10 Tac 2s. They look kind of aggressive. And the only reason why I say I might change them out is because this front fold-around strap on these Pachmayrs is kind of aggressive, and it's kind of hurting my middle finger. So if I put a set of Magpuls or G10s on here, I may send this back to Springfield's custom shop and have them do the texturing they did on the back strap here to do it on the front strap as well, and then change out the grips. But I haven't made my mind up. And then I was also looking at the Colt, I mean not the Colt, but the same ones I had on my Colt Gold Cup was the Hogue finger grips. But I think that takes away from the look and the aesthetic value of the 1911. So I'll probably put, like I said, a set of the mag pools or a set of the VZ G10s on here. The gun has the high-rise beaver tail safety there with the memory bump on it. It has the skeletonized hammer. It has a skeletonized adjustable trigger on it, which is match grade. It has the ambidextrous safety on it here, as you can see right here. It has the Trigicon Tritium night sights on it, combat 3 dots. And it also has the serrations on the front slide as well as the back of the slide. It has the rail on it. It has a match grade barrel in it. And the fitment, guys, is real tight. You hear no movement. I mean, it is real tight. And before I made my mind up on that, like I said, I was looking at the range officer, which gets the same treatment as a TRP and the trophy. Same barrel, same slide, same frame. I mean, you're basically buying a knockdown version of the trophy. I mean, because it doesn't have, you know, the spreaded mag wells, the TRP, and some of those those features. But as far as the trophy goes, I mean, that range officer is a good buy, and I almost bought it. If it wouldn't have been for this gun having the rail and already being in OD green and having these night sights on it, I would have bought that range officer. But I figured if I bought the range officer and decided to put night sights on it, have it Cerakoted green, I'd be close to the $300 difference. You know, at least what would you say with the night sights? Probably run around 100, 150. I would say. Haven't looked them up, but I'd say that's somewhere where they are. And then getting it Cerakoted, and then you're not going to be able to just throw a rail on the 1911. Now I have seen where you can buy some grips that has some funky rail made into it, but I wouldn't trust that for nothing. So for me, the $300 for the rail, the green Cerakote, and the night sights was a good value for me. So that's why I opted to buy this. If not, guys, I'd have got the range officer for the money. I did look at buying another gold cup to take, you know, to replace my old one that I had, because that was my favorite 1911, but it didn't have the rail that I was looking for, and it didn't have the night sights. Didn't really care that it was stainless. That was perfectly fine to me. I like the stainless 1911s, but this OD green, I just fell in love with it. But that was my ultimate decision of buying these guys, was the rail and the night sights. And like most of the Springfields, it does come with the holster. The range officer does as well. I tried it out, put it on. I'm gonna let you know this conceals better than I got a Glock 45 G30 Gen 4 with a TLR3 on it with a custom Kydex holster. And I think this 1911 with this holster conceals better. Now, granted, when I go get my TLR1 or TLR2 that I'm going to put on this rail, I'm going to have to call my guy up in Pennsylvania, and Black Dog Concealment, check him out online. Great guy. Check out my videos of his holsters that he's made for me, but blackdogconcealment.com. Older gentleman, kind of funny if you read some of the facts on his website. Talked to him once on the phone, awesome guy, but I'm going to have him make me a Kydex holster when I get my light. I'm not going to get one of his mag pouches because I don't need 2 mag pouches, because this already did come with one and it's very nice. And for some reason it gives you this Picatinny style rail on the sides. I'm not exactly sure what you can hang off of it, but I'm sure it's something. As well as when you close this box down, it has like a Picatinny rail. You get that. You get 2 magazines, which are in here. I know it's kind of getting dark out here on the back porch, and these are real hard to get in and out here, but it does come with 2 of your standard mags. Comes with your cleaning rod. Comes with your safety flag, and of course behind here is all your, you know, all your paperwork and your lock and all that stuff. Well, I'm not going to drag all that out, but like I said, give you guys a look at it there. And if you guys are looking for 1911, that's kind of my opinion on the 1911s. I try to, if I can, stick with the Springfield and the Colts, but like I said, if you can't, I thought Remington, Para, and Ruger is a good alternative, and you've heard who I stay away from. My philosophy, once again, guys, is if you're going to buy a gun, you can't afford it, just save your money a little longer. Get what you want, buy it once, and be happy with it. Get a quality gun that you can expect reliability out of, and one day maybe save your life. Stick around, guys. Going to shoot another video because I did buy 2 guns at one time. This time, lucky me, it's Christmas time. Got permission to spend a little bit of money. Kind of used the plastic there, you know, a little credit card. Whipped out 2 firearms on it. Spent roughly around $1,800 or so on the 2. One's in front of you. Next one's coming up. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Please do so. And one other thing for you 1911 buffs before I get out of here. On what I was going to do to this gun, see what your guys' opinion are. Of, like I said, changing out the grips is one thing that I wanted to do. But give me your opinion on the recoil system. This has the GI recoil system. And I have used the Wilson Combat one-piece guide rod. And I really liked it in my Gold Cup. I know this is reliable. It's test. It's proven, you know, through and through. The old GI systems never failed. So, you know, it ain't broke, don't fix it. I understand that. But if you guys see any advantages of the one-piece guide rod at all, I'm not looking for accuracy or nothing, just reliability. But like I said, leave those comments down below, guys. And then until next time, later.